unsurprisingly, I didn't hear much from the media about this survey that says owners are considering switching to EVs pretty much en masse in the United States. It's shocking to hear this stuff because the media are basically saying, oh, no, people don't want them. But actually, this massive survey shows that the inverse is actually the case. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. My name's Sam Evans, and I propose that pretty much everyone wants an electric car. 9 out of 10. That's what I personally think. You're probably going to say, you're crazy, that's ridiculous. But I think pretty much everyone does. The reason I say that is because even if you love going off-road, full driving, or you have some sort of unusual use case, I still think people realize that electric motors are far more powerful than internal combustion. They have to know that. You have to be pretty stupid not to know that. People realize that actually electric cars are better as long as they give them what they're after, which is more range at the price that they're willing to pay. So let's say you're willing to go and pay $80,000 for a pickup truck, say a Ford F-150 with an extended tray, and it gives you around about 800 kilometers or maybe about 500 miles of range with your gasoline engine. Now, I think most of those buyers, 9 out of 10 of them, if they could have the alternative for the same price, would simply buy it. And actually, the survey here in the US pretty much confirms my suspicions. KPMG's Consumer Pulse Survey 2023 has revealed that nearly half of the gas and diesel vehicle owners in the US are considering switching to hybrid or electric vehicles. Now, the thing is, nearly half of them are considering switching, but there's not really that much of a choice for a lot of people in a lot of segments. That's the truth. I mean, yes, there's more EVs available now, but there's still a lot of missing segments. I mean, does Toyota make any affordable, reasonably priced EVs? No, they don't. Any compelling EVs with a decent amount of range? No, they don't. So you can see there's just a lot of segments here that are still missing. Is there any F-250s? No. Is there any F-150s with a reasonably sized bed? Lightning is 5.5 foot. The average buyer doesn't want a 5.5 foot bed. That's the truth. They don't. The average buyer wants 6.5 foot bed. Will they be available eventually? EV versions? They will. But my point here is 50% of buyers still want to switch, even though there isn't really a compelling option for a lot of those buyers now. That shows you electrification is actually a trend that is gaining momentum. And once there are options in all those missing segments, which there will be within the next, 24 months, 36 months, considering all the cars about to be revealed, about to be released by General Motors, by Ford, by Tesla, by other car companies. Once that happens, the shift to electrification will be incredibly fast. Increasing gas prices and environmental concerns are the reasons prompting buyers to consider cleaner vehicles, the report says. KPMG, an international accounting and auditing firm, surveyed more than 1,000 people in the United States to learn about consumer mindsets regarding electric vehicles. The study revealed that high costs were a stumbling block in the faster adoption of plug-in vehicles. Households with an income of at least $100,000 were more likely to already own an alternative fuel vehicle, while those with lower incomes reported to be considering EVs in the future. I think another area here could be education. I mean, for example, there's probably not a lot of people that realize you can get a Tesla Model Y all-wheel drive for $40,000 after you get the $7,500 incentive. Now, in some states in the US, there's additional incentives on top of that. It can bring the price down even more than that. But already that's a pretty compelling price, $40,000 for a vehicle that size. And it's all-wheel drive, it's fast, it's a pretty good car. Now, that's not the only option, but that's just to illustrate the point here. Education is probably needed. And maybe that's one of the key reasons why Tesla's gone, yeah, you know what? We will do some advertising now. To potentially make electric vehicles more mainstream, the United States government introduced the Inflation Reduction Act. This act includes a provision called the Clean Vehicle Credit. This enables buyers to get a $7,500 tax credit rebate for new plug-in vehicles, fuel cell hydrogen vehicles, and electric vehicles. Now, even though these rebates do apply to hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, and you can buy hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, well, they're dying pretty quickly. Over the first quarter of this year, very, very few were sold, far less than what was sold in the last first quarter of 2022. However, EVs have doubled in sales in the US, and they're really starting to get traction. The KPMG survey found how location determines buying decisions. Buyers in the Pacific and mountain regions were more likely to purchase alternative vehicles. Those in the Midwest, less likely to do so. There are generational differences in buyer sentiment, though. According to the report, Generation X and millennials are more likely to purchase an EV in the near future. Older Americans are slower in embracing the idea of plug-in vehicles. Now, it's interesting to hear that older Americans are slower to embrace EVs because the majority of people who actually watch this channel are over the age of 50. I get to see the audience demographics, and it's quite interesting to see. I'm curious to know, if you're older, if you're over the age of 50, do your friends, I mean, I think you're probably the kind of person who has embraced change and is the kind of person who does embrace technological change quicker than others. But what about your friends? Are your friends slower to embrace EVs than younger people? Maybe they are. I don't know. The survey says that the youngest generation is the most optimistic about EVs, but is least likely to be able to afford them. Now, obviously, the survey is bogus in that area because if you're a young person, if you're, say, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, by the time you actually go to buy a car, for the majority of those people, EVs will be exceptionally affordable. They'll be cheaper than gasoline-powered vehicles, both to buy, to own, to run. The study said that one more favor critical to EV satisfaction and adoption is the charging experience. A JD Power study in March of 2023 revealed that slow charging speeds and limited charging education resulted in lower satisfaction among EV buyers. Owners with portable or mounted level 2 chargers stated the cost of charging was the key reason for their dissatisfaction. Another EV study conducted by Reuters in March of 2023 found that a little over 1/3 of Americans considered an EV as their next vehicle. So it seems like maybe Reuters was promoting gasoline-powered cars, saying, oh no, not many people want them. No, don't worry about it. I think more people want them than they realize. However, that poll by Reuters revealed that 34% of all respondents considered an EV, 31% didn't. And that poll apparently surveyed 4,410 people in the United States and had a credibility interval of about 2 to 4 percentage points in either direction, meaning it was very, very credible. So what do you think about all these studies? What do you think about the general sentiment? What is the general sentiment right now in the United States around electric cars? Are more people moving towards them? Or do we still need a lot more models to become available and more affordable to get this mass adoption curve that we're all expecting? We know it's going to happen, but it's really just a matter of time. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.